county commissioners, for 5 years, I presented the same thing. Now, they're breaking the law because I'm supposed to have 100 square foot minimum of office space. I have a black molded, which the public is supposed to be able to go in there. And my office has got black mold in it. I've got video, we're gonna put it up tomorrow night. Marie's gonna put it up tomorrow during the day sometime, maybe tomorrow evening. I want you guys to see what it's like when it rains. The water just pours in there. And the county has done nothing, or, you know, I said I wasn't gonna call him out, but Mr. Suggs, for 5, 6 years, I've been asking you what can be done about it. And to this date, even today, you have not called me back. 5 phone calls and a visit to your office, and I haven't gotten one call back. But their thing is, we'll get a grant. Well, these grants, we're supposed to pay 10% back, the taxpayers are.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when they wanted to put in the landing for $4.5 million, which only cost us $60,000 because I asked them if we could get involved and if I could find somebody to do it, we got it done for 60 grand. That $4 million, I'm not a mathematician, but if you're going to have to pay 20%, that's 200,000 on $1 million,
Yes.
times 4. Almost $1 million that 70-something thousand taxpayers are going to have to pay,
Yes, sir.
versus pennies of what it was done for.
Yes, sir.
Now they want to take and raise the office up for $250,000 to get a grant to raise it up. When for $17,000 we could get a building from Birds up there. And I even told them to save the taxpayers money. We will pay for the drywall. Dale and myself will pay for the drywall and finish it up on the inside. $17,000 is a lot less than $250,000, and that's, I think, what you're talking about on the government spending.
Why? I mean, it's just good business practice. I mean, I'm not a businessman. I don't run a business, but to me, it just seems like common sense. How about that? You know, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, why would you spend all this money to do something? The man's sitting right here saying, "Hey, I'll do it for this much, and it's going to save the taxpayer." I like it. I mean, I don't know if I don't like paying any more taxes than I have to. So, I mean, that makes perfectly good sense to me.
That's just common sense, right there. I mean,
Yes, sir.
if this is just one little spot here, and then they were going to spend $4 million on a landing, and I went in there and said, "You can't do it." Governor Rick Scott said in a letter that it had to stay historically correct and be built out of wood.
Yes, sir.
They completely ignored that and had Taylor Engineering out of Jacksonville design a pavilion here and to make that out of concrete. There goes the historical fact on it. I don't know if you guys and gals can see it. Oh, I love this sign, by the way. Ferry temporarily closed. That's been that way for coming up on 9 years, September 11th. That's temporary in government, but I was told by a couple of county officials, not the county officials that are in there now, but one of the managers of the county, "Oh, these things take time." Really? 9 years. Blacka Daly quoted me as saying, "I could get a blind, retarded monkey with a dried up ink pen to do it quicker than they have been able to do it." But to them, they've created a public health hazard. This is a waterway where people over there on 19, and you being a firefighter, if 19 gets shut off, what happens to those people?
They have nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go except for, and a couple times Captain Dale in the past has gone over there and rescued people. As a matter of fact, what fires was it, Marie?
1998.
98 is what, with that section over there catching on fire, and Captain Dale running the firefighters and stuff over there in the tankers on the barge, that's initially what started, I don't know if you knew this or not, but our burn control stuff in the state of Florida.
98 was, yes, sir.
And because of Fort Gates, we've had planes crash in the river.
Yes, sir.
We pulled out. Fort Gates is responsible for the great fishing that we have here, along with the fish hatchery.
Isn't it marked there? Isn't this an airstrip technically? By FAA, you told me this is technically an airstrip?
Yeah, it's
It's
technically an
considered
airstrip
FAA.
by the FAA.
Yeah. So that's a big deal. Just saying.
Yeah, but I mean, something so rich in history, and then money's getting funneled to an island down the river. I mean, to the tune of $850,000. And the lady admitted in the meeting that she was responsible for that money getting sent down to another section of the county. it just seems like that Fort Gates has been bastardized, and you've been down here. I mean, the history of this place.
It's, well, sorry, it's my first time.
It's all right. I'll join you with a Mountain Dew. By the way, plug Mountain Dew. Please send me a case.
I mean, talking about the history, you go back earlier, you were talking about the history of the Civil War. I mean, that way, I think, you know, I love history. Anybody that knows me knows that I love history. Everybody, it drives my family crazy. They'll tell you it's always something about history. But I mean, you know, in the past years, there's been a big issue of race in this nation. And for me, looking back on this history is probably, we're doing the African American and black community in Putnam County a disservice. A lot of people don't realize is that in the Civil War, in the Union side, there were former slaves, black men, who fought from that Union side of the Civil War. And they did it, I think, well, I know why they did it. They wanted to be free. And I read the stories along here about the raids that those guys did. And, you know, for a black man back then to sneak back into enemy territory, you know, come down these rivers, hit these plantations, and I mean, and doing a hit and a rip, you're going in enemy territory. I mean, that's the most dangerous thing you can do. And I know I've taught you about it, and I've told other people after reading it. I mean, you know, those guys, they knew that if they got caught, they were going to get killed and executed, or thrown back into slavery, which would probably be worse than death. I wouldn't know. But my thing is this: those guys were, I mean, if you look at what they did, the intelligence gathering, they were technically some of our nation's earliest form of clandestine special operations. And I'm a military guy. I'm a military buff. Like, I love military history. You know, and shout out to Fat Electrician. If there's a story you need to do, it's this one. And if you know who Fat Electrician is, you know who he is and how big he is. But you need to come to a story about the guys that came down here. They came down here, they did the raids, they would free slaves. They would get them the freedom and safety back up in Jacksonville, because that's the Union held Jacksonville back in the war. And to me, you know, why aren't we talking about that? You know, that is, those guys set the stage for an entire race of people to be free, you know, and slavery to me was evil. It was disgusting and evil, you know, but you know, things like that, like we're not putting our effort into that. And you know, and I can't imagine being those guys. And I've been deployed. I went to Iraq, and you know, I've ridden around the streets of Iraq, but that's nothing compared to what those guys did. I mean, you know, just knowing what they did and how they operated, and willing just to go, there was run accounts I read that, you know, they got a white officer, you know, because that's the way they did it back then, and I don't agree with that either, because I also read that they planned a lot of their missions. He let them plan their own operations. They had a sergeant major that was, I can't remember his name, and I feel bad for forgetting it. I have it on my phone. He was command sergeant major. He was their NCOIC, their head sergeant, and he was helping plan these operations. And they would pretend to be slaves, and they would, you know, walk with the white guy down the road, and they would sneak in enemy territory. And to me, that, you know, that's history that, you know, people need to hear about. You know, I called a buddy of mine I was in the Army with. He was my medic. Doc, what's up? I know you're watching. I asked him, I said, you grew up over here, and he grew up in Clay County, Arts Park, and all this. I said, ever heard of the story? And he's like, no, never knew about it. That's wrong, man. Like, that's the kind of history we need to be teaching. So, for me, that's why we need to keep this place. It's the reason why Calac is here. It's rich in history. I mean, every major thing that's ever happened here, you know, pre-World War I-ish, I guess you could say. You know, those are battles that were fought here. And then you had the kid from Scotland who came over here to get a better life in the United States in what would be, you know, legally their way they did it back then. You hop the boat, you came over here from Scotland, he comes all the way down here, and he's part of some of the battle down here. Kid got a Congressional Medal of Honor out here. And, you know, for my guys that are veterans, my brothers and sisters, that's a big deal. Like, how do we not have a doggone monument here about the kid? How is the state or how has the county not done that? To me, that is a disservice to our community. You know, so that's what it means to me. You know, you've got a rich history here, and I mean, a lot of people, Palaca. Babe Ruth lived in Palaca. He had a house in Palaca. You know, and you have history like that, but for this ferry, man, we got to preserve it. And even going back, you're talking about work fire rescue. You have one bridge in Putnam County. One. And it ain't getting any younger. And if you know about bridges, I'm not saying it's about to fall apart, I'm not making that accusation, but bridges have to be maintained and repaired, and I think they've done a great job. But if you have one event that takes place, a barge that hits it, one of those river craft going up, and a ship hits it, something, you're down a bridge. And if east needs to get to the west, east ain't meeting west. This is your backup. You know, if there's a fire, they're stationed right down the road here, you know, the firehouse down here, that's in Crescent City and all around here, and they got a big fire over here, they can put the fire engine on the doggone barge and take it.
The Department of Forestry is right here
Right,
too.
forestry's here, and that's a big
They could
deal.
be there
In 10 minutes.
versus an hour and a half
Yeah.
driving around with a 9-mile-an-hour tanker. They can be there. One thing, not to cut you short,
No,
but
you're good.
what you were talking about Thacker, was it Thacker?
Thacker.
Thacker. When he came down, he had his 20 black gentlemen with him. There was pine trees all around Fort Gates here, and they were sharpened. It looked like something out of, well, a lot of these younger readers, you're younger, you probably won't remember F Troop, but there was a show called F Troop that was back in the day, yeah.
I
And
have a grandfather that watched F Troop.
I love that show. But they had a port here, and they were actually going over and getting black slaves and bringing them over here and hiding them inside of the port.
Yep.
Like I say, a couple of those guys went on to be
Yes.
the Buffalo Soldiers, went out west and fought.
And that right there tells me everything I need to know about the character of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
They were slaves in a nation. They fought for their freedom, and then they turned right back around. And even when they were still getting treated like crap for being, simply for the color of their skin, then they went out and they forged this nation all the way to the West Coast. What are we doing? Why are we not preserving that? I mean, that's.
My thing is, why isn't it being taught in Putnam County
And that
schools?
needs to be school, yes, sir. Absolutely.
And the black history of this place.
Yes, sir.
And not just the black history, but the white history, the Spanish history.
Indian, Native American.
Yeah,
history.
Native American Indians. Right here we got an
Seminoles.
Indian mound from 1250 AD. That dates some of the stuff, and Marie pulled up a lot of stuff that goes back to C1, before
Yeah.
Christ was born.
Yep.
And the prehistoric stuff around here. And by the way, guys and gals, when you come down here, there are trails around here that you can go and you can find stuff. If you see the arrowheads, and my dad is full-blooded Blackfoot Indian, and there's arrowheads, there's pieces of pottery, but there's a thing that the forestry had, and I love our forestry people to death, but the thing is, leave it where it lays. If you didn't bring it, if you bought it with you, take it when you leave. Don't leave gum wrappers. Don't leave. Don't be flicking your cigarettes down to burn up the thing. Just leave it the way you found it. And if you see an arrowhead, I mean, it's on top of the ground. The law says you can take it. If it's a piece of pottery, you can take it. My theory is, you got cameras. Pick that arrowhead up, take a picture of it, take a picture of your kid, lay it back, and let the next person enjoy it. The same with the pottery. I'm about the history of the place. My dad was an archaeologist growing up. I had skulls under my dad.
That's awesome.
They would go dig them up from, Indian mounds, he went to Egypt, Cairo, all that stuff. But growing up, I had skulls underneath my bed, and it used to freak my friends out because my old man would take and put them together with screws and pins and sell them to universities.
Mm-hmm.
So so people could learn about the anatomy. And this is back in the '60s. Learn about the anatomy of everything. Now you just push a button and you got a 3D printer that's right now a skull. But it's funny because I used to take those skulls. My friends would come over to stay the night. Obviously, I didn't have very many friends come over to stay the night because in the middle of the night you wake up with a skull over top of you.
Put a candle on it, let it light up.
The things you're saying have a lot of merit to them, and you and I have talked, and we feel the same way that this needs to be preserved. In a meeting, a lady said, and I'm going to put it up on the site, this woman said to the county commissioners, come on, let's finish what we started. I've got people, basically, and I'm paraphrasing some of this because I don't want to misquote, but they were talking about, they got people to wipe out these cabins and put up new buildings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And put up, that wheel out there, we were talking about it when you were over here.
Yeah.
That thing's from the late 1700s. And that thing's still functional. Captain Dale still spins it. It lifts the gate up, it drops it back down. Cars can pull on that almost 100-year-old barge now and go across. But originally, the two wooden barges are sitting right over here from the 1700s that used to carry people across.
Yes,
and this is a site where the Second and Third Seminole Indian Wars were fought.
Well, Osceola burned everything from down here in Ocala up
Oh, all the way up.
All the way up.
Yeah, he
You know,
suckered the troops.
unconquered ones.
Yeah, he suckered the troops into coming across the river, and they got over there. And he pretty much said, because all of his men got slaughtered, you know what? We're going to barbecue them.
Yep.
Yeah, barbecued British, barbecued whoever it was.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've been down here. What do you think about the wildlife and just the whole?
I mean, we're sitting here earlier, and my son's over riding a bike, but you can come out here and stay in a little cabin, and he come out there with some deer corn and threw some corn. There were 5 or 6 little deer, little does, and coming around here, and fawns, and I mean, you got the otters, you got everything. This is, I mean, it's an old fish camp, and it has that fish camp, that Florida fish camp feel to it. You got the wildlife out here, you got the turkeys, you got everything around here. You got a little bear that's running around with his mom, and you know, I don't see why we can't keep this, because we were talking about the cabins earlier. I mean, they're what, you said late 1800s, early 1900s?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's history. What are we doing? Why are we not preserving this for our kids and everybody else? It's a great access point. I mean, especially from like my world where I'm from in public safety, it's a great access point if we need to get people across. I mean, that's just how it goes. So, I mean, I love it here, man. This is beautiful. I mean, it's great down here.
Well, we try to make it to where it's a family-friendly environment.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And you know, I'd love to see the kids start coming back here from the elementary schools, middle schools, high schools.
Yes, sir.
And just coming down here and riding across the barge. I mean, we don't charge the kids when Captain Dale takes them across the river. That used to be done 9-10 years ago.
Yes, sir.
I mean, the kids would come down, you know, we have a little cotton candy machine and stuff, but there was wooden nickels that were originally, I think we've got a couple of them left, that were back from the 1940s, where that's what in the 30s and 40s,
Mm-hmm.
that's what they paid with to cross the river. You know, they would come in, they would trade a fish or whatever they were trading for, these little wood nickels,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what they used for currency going across.
Yes, sir.
And it's never been about the money, and we've lost money. And I guarantee if it's any of the county commissioners sitting on there right now, I haven't taken a paycheck in 9 years. I've never taken one red cent off of this place. To me, it's not about the money. Even though they lied in a county meeting and said they've been giving me and my family $1,200 a month forever, which is a blatant lie. I've never taken one red cent. Mine is to preserve this. We don't need people coming in. You've seen the inside of the cabins. We maintain them. We try to keep them. I mean, it's hard, to take a building and to maintain it. Dale's been doing it for 30 years, but to take something that was made in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and maintain it and keep it up to where people can come down here and just rest and relax. First thing I saw your wife do was out to the dock, laying on the chair, relaxing. And that's what it's about. We don't allow riprap in here.
Yes, sir.
Crackheads, meth heads, drug addicts, even people. I don't care if you want to drink. I don't drink myself. I don't have anything against it. It's just I don't like the taste of beer. This is my beer. Again, Mountain Dew. If you want to send me a few truckloads, that's fine. But it's to keep it. The only noise down here is me, because I like to talk. That's what I do.
Yes, sir.
But if you set out here, like right now, you hear nothing but a few crickets in the background and an air conditioner running. And that's what we want to do to preserve it. We don't need some big conglomerate coming in here or the county and making it a cash cow. But what we do need to have is people like yourself to get on the Board of County Commissioners and help, not just this place, but the historical place I've watched. I've been here for 30 years, and I have watched so much of Putnam County be destroyed because of lack of leadership and poor management of the county. Whether it was monies being embezzled, or I remember when I first came here, the place was thriving. You go to Crescent City, there are people walking around up and down just like DeLand. Why is Palaca not like that? Why do we have a bunch of people over there shooting each other in parking lots? Well, there's nothing, and I don't know if you have a solution for it or what you feel about it. We were talking for a couple minutes about it, and I said to you that they're trying to bring industry or bring people here and then get industry to come. First of all, my feeling on it is you keep raising the property taxes, you keep raising the gas taxes, you keep raising and just taxing the piss out of the public. How are you going to get people to come here?
Yep. You got to bring some industry in. You have to. I mean, and that's there seems like there's been this mindset in the past few years of we'll bring the people, then the industry will come. But you can't get people if you don't have jobs for them. I mean, that's common. I thought that was common sense 101. But I think we should bring some industry in. And what that answer is you can manufacture anything. You got a huge agriculture network here. I don't know why we're not using the river for that too. You've got a bunch of agriculture all over Putnam County, and there's not much agriculture left in Florida. And there's really not. I grew up in a farm family. I grew up in the Panhandle. I was 11, 12 years old. I was driving tractors down the road. Can confirm it. You can call my family and ask them anybody else that knew us. But if you don't preserve that, everybody talks about national security, and this is just my own mindset. But the biggest national security issue a nation could ever really face is not being able to feed themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't get back on track with our agriculture, and we keep doing this bedroom community crap that they want to do, and they want overdevelopment, nah, man, you got to change. You got to change comp plans and quit putting 4, 5, 6 houses, however many they're trying to put on an acre of land now. Make it, split it up, make it to where people can come in and have a half acre, raise a family, and not live on. Because I can tell you, as a firefighter, that's a pain in the butt. When this house goes up, and then you got to worry about this house, and this house. You're hurting your people. You're hurting your public safety. And put and do smart planning. Put it maybe 2 houses per acre. Let's give people a chance to grow their own food. That's a big thing right now. Everybody wants to grow their own food because we know the food they're giving us is crap. I'd rather grow my own food than anything. And thankfully I grew up knowing how to do it and learning how to do it. But we got to change that comp plan. But you need to focus on there's enough people that live in surrounding counties. And you can't fund a county worrying about if you're going to sell houses or not. If people are going to fill those houses. If you're going to get your impact fees from selling. Because there's places around here currently, that, not in this county, but other counties where they can't fill homes right now.
I talked to a young man here. It was in a county meeting, and I see him every couple of meetings. I wish I got his name and his card. But he said they've made it with the impact fee so hard that he can't even go out and build low-income housing,
right,
because of the taxes and the stuff they're supposed to be, and the way they're charging him and pretty much raping them on it. He can't afford to build here.
Right.
So that's one big problem. Now, I have seen some stuff, and I'm not going to get into that stuff. I was stumbled on across a couple of things on the internet, and I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here. AI, how do you feel about it coming to Putnam County? I think it sucks. I'll tell everybody right now. I think it's crapper on the environment, but I want you to tell people what you feel about it, if you like it, if you don't like it. I mean,
my thing on data centers is this: I support a full moratorium on data centers. There has to be more education. There has to be more research into it. We have to see what these things are doing. There's places I do research on things. I watched a podcast the other day from another podcast. I don't know if I can say it out loud, but
you say whatever you want. First Amendment.
It was okay. Well, I was watching Sean Ryan. If anybody else watched Sean Ryan's show, and he had Aaron Brockovich on. However you may feel about her, I don't care. But she brought up some good points. She brought up good points about the data centers. There's the effects it has on the environment. There's water. There's electricity. There's people even talking about the humming of it, the noise, the decibels that are coming out of it, and they're reading them in their people's homes. It even. She brought the receipts, and that's one thing you'll notice about us in our campaign. This isn't my campaign; it's about me. This isn't an us thing. This isn't a me thing. We cite and source everything, and she brought the receipts. And if you can bring the receipts, then I'll listen to you. And she brought some valid points up. And I think honestly, we need to put a moratorium on it. We should have already done it personally. And I hear this. Well, we don't know if we can do it. Blah blah blah. There's other counties doing it, and the way I see it, home rule is home rule. There you go. We have home rule for a reason. If the citizens of Putnam County don't want it, we don't want it. I think that we should put a moratorium on it. We should definitely take research on it, have all the effects of it, and see. And then if unless you can mitigate all those issues, and it's not going to be an issue, and you're not going to suck our resources dry, and you can You can create your own electricity, and you can put it out in the middle of nowhere, whatever. But I'm not, right now, until you can prove to me that it's not going to be a hindrance on daily life, not a replacement. I support that 100%. It's just like anything else. We created it. You work for us. So that's how I see it. A lot of people don't feel that way, and I get it. Even my kids, they hate it. My kids are younger, and everybody they know they hate it. They hate AI. They see it as a tool, but they fear it as a replacement. But that goes into what you're saying with manufacturing and bringing in jobs. We need to bring in trade work, because even if you listen to podcasts like I do, everybody knows who Mike Rowe is, and from Dirty Jobs. By the way, love your show if you see this. But he even said it in a few years. In a few years, he talks about 18, 20-year-old kids that are journeymen getting their licenses and their apprenticeships in electrical work and HVAC and different things, pipe fitting. And these kids are making $250,000 a year. And he even said it within the next 10 to 15 years. I'm not quoting directly, but we'll give a ballpark. Those will be $1 million a year jobs, because a robot can't do that. AI can't operate that. AI can't do a pipe up under a house. They can't weld, whatever. And that's where I think as a nation we have gotten away from the trade jobs, because there's always been this emphasis on college. And I'm in college. I'm using my GI Bill. I'm going to school as well as doing this and working. But I think that we need to remember we can come up with all these great things for our children. And as for data centers, we've been using data centers in this nation for 50 years. Be real. If you go into Gainesville, and I'm just giving this as an example, there's a big red brick AT&T building coming in on 26 or on 222 there. That's an AT&T data center. If you use a phone, and everybody asks about AI. Oh, you're using AI. This has AI. Every time you pick it up, it has AI. We have to be smart, though. It's just like everything every industrial revolution, whatever you want to call it, every big change in technology and the progression of man and how we do things, there's always a fear that comes out. And I 100% agree that we should make sure we tame it, make sure it's good to go. But for now, let's try to do this without sucking all the life out of the earth. Because my lake where I live in Melrose, the water keeps going down. And yes, we've been in a drought, but it's never. We have dry and we have water issues and everything out down there. But it's the driest as my neighbors that's lived there for 30 years has ever seen it. So, we got a real problem with that. We got to quit sucking the life out of our state and our home. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm at on that.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that one. You guys and gals, the important thing is that you go get out and vote. Okay? Don't sit there and think, well, my vote's not going to count. It does count. Until you guys get out, and I'm not going to tell you who I'm voting for. I will tell you, I'm going to throw Carl Flagg a spot, though. Go, Carl. Now, people will say, oh, you're a Republican or a Democrat. Carl's a Democrat. I kind of swing more toward the Republican side because they're a little more sensible. I believe in smaller government. I believe in less spending. I believe in getting county officials out that have been in there forever, career politicians, getting them out and getting new people in that are going to do things, like Joey and a couple other people that I've talked to. This forum is open to anybody that wants to come out. And I've asked him if he wanted to do some other shows around town. I don't want this to be about bashing the county or things, because in a couple of shows, we're planning on having a couple more. And again, Mr. Harvey, if you'd like to come on here, and I'm going to ask you questions, so buckle up, Buttercup. That's just the way it goes. Just like with Joey, I'm asking him questions, and I'm going to be asking him questions. Some of them he might not like, some of them he may not agree with, some of them, Commissioner Rawls, when he was in, we didn't agree on everything, but I still liked the way he was going toward the county. I don't believe in political smear campaigns, but I do believe in the truth and getting the word out on what's going on. We've got some people across the river, Mr. and Miss Copley, love these people to death. These guys have been getting screwed over, and the other people across the river here, where they haven't fixed the roads. Putnam County owns some of those roads, and it's always an excuse about the Department of Forestry and this and that. And if they wanted to do it, they could fight for it. But when I go to a county meeting, and 7, 8 years later, and I ask them, do you know the history of Fort Gates? Everybody's up there like they don't know if it's the oldest ferry or the third oldest ferry. The last group of county commissioners, a couple of them said, "Oh, well, isn't it the second or third?" No, if it's in your district, you should know. Now, obviously, we can't know everything that's going on in Putnam County. I try, but you got buildings up in Interlaken where there was a few $1 million spent on a little building. We have veterans that will come out and volunteer, that are sitting home with nothing to do, that will come out and help on some of these projects. They're skilled. They were in Vietnam. They were in different wars over in Baghdad, Kuwait, Iraq. To all of our servicemen and women, thank you so much for your service, and you as well. But there's people willing to volunteer. There are solutions like you and I have been talking about for the last week. You look at this bulkhead out here. The county is supposed to have been maintaining that for years and years and years. And I did a public records request. They've done no maintenance. No maintenance. They own this little part out here. The landing that their attorneys said, and other people in the county commissioners meeting there said, "Oh, that was an act of God. We're not responsible for that." They were responsible because it was negligence that they didn't maintain something that they, back in the 30s,
39.
1939, the county begged for the landing and the plate, saying they're going to maintain it. Before that, it was owned by the military, and then it got, and I'm going to drop the bomb on it right here. The landing and this place was military. 1938, 39, 40, 41, right in that area there. Or what year was it?
The 1853, 1854 truce.
Oh, I said 19. I mean 18.
1853, 1854 truce.
There was a truce. Go ahead and explain this.
The 1853, 1854 truce made it from a military ferry into a private ferry so that civilians could use it all the time. In 1939, when Putnam County claimed it as a county highway, then it was changed over. It went from the privatized with just the operators being the ones that were supposed to do the upkeep on the landings and the ramps. It went over to the 1939 one, where the Putnam County was in control over all landings and all ramps from then forward. So
they took on that responsibility then. Now, a couple of people, I think maybe myself, were probably old enough to have been back there then. But the thing is that just like with you running for county commissioners, and I have a county commissioner tell me not long ago that they inherited this. They didn't ask for it. Oh, yes, you guys did, and even you yourself. You campaigned on it. You campaigned saying you were going to make Putnam County safer for residents. You said that you were going to take on the responsibility. Not only did you campaign on it, but you even spent money out of your own pocket. So when this comes up 9 years later, don't tell me that you inherited something, because you didn't. You asked for it. And when I've got an office sitting here with mold growing in it for 6 years now, and you have done nothing, you have neglected the health of people in Putnam County. My health, my partners, the people that would come here that want to rent a cabin, that we don't have an office space to write. We have to do it outside on a table. Now, you guys have businesses. How would you like it if I came to your business, destroyed your office, filled it up with mold, filled it up with water every time it rains, and you can call me a little whiny bitch if you want, I don't care. But I come there and I destroy your place, and I cause the problems that you have, and then I shut you down for 9 years. And then you don't get a paycheck for 9 years. How you guys gonna like it? Huh? Tell me. You wouldn't like it.
No, sir.
And you and I have talked about that, and you said that if you get elected, you're willing to do something about it. And I told you at that time, I'll hold you to your word, but if you screw the Putnam County residents, I'll be the first one to go after you. Just like I did with the other county commissioners. Now, some of them I didn't get to tell that, but that's because they didn't watch the radio shows or the podcast, whatever you guys and gals want to call it. But, you know, the important thing is that we get people in there like Joey that are going to be working to better improve Putnam County. And frankly, I've heard a bunch of crap, you know, oh, we got parks. We don't have a drug problem, but yet we're putting Narcan stations in the parks. Okay, maybe we do need them. Maybe the drug problem is so big, but nobody wants to admit it. Nobody wants to see this ghost coming out or skeleton coming out of the closet. But when you've got things like that, they should be coming up with solutions. And have your county meetings. You guys, you know, you and I talked about this, about the transparency of the county.
Yes, sir.
And the one thing that I've been asking, since they come out with YouTube, and this is before the county commissioners, there's only one county commissioner that's been in there that long, but I said, why don't you guys open up the comment section in there? You want to know what your constituents think? Who cares? You guys think you got it bad? You ought to get the 3,000 to 6,000 emails I get a week. Yeah, we answer every one of them. Every phone call that comes in on my phone, I answer it or I get back to the people. You have 72,000 readers or people in the county. I have 18.4 million. Okay? Yet I don't screw anybody over. I might have missed one or two phone calls, but at least I return phone calls. You know, and some of our county commissioners do. How you say his name?
Pelsier.
Yeah, Pelsier returns my phone calls. Josh Alexander does. Matter of fact, if you guys call the county and you get kicked over to Josh Alexander's thing there, his number gets linked with the county's for some reason, and he answers the phone. But he answers the phone. You know, there's other county commissioners. Leota Wilkerson returns my calls. You know, I got Newbold that returns my calls. But then you've got other people, another person on the county commission that won't give me an interview. And all I want to do is get to the truth and the bottom of it. I want to know what's going to be done with the county. My listeners and readers rely on me to get them the truth. Rely on me to get people on the air such as Joey that will say it. And they're not going to hide behind a thing and then turn their comment box off. And I've seen that here in the last week. People get on there and they're Facebook badasses or they're just telephone badasses, but he can't comment back to them. But yet a few of their friends can comment back. Now, you want transparency, county? Open up your YouTube channel for comments. Mine's open right now. People can tell me they hate me, they don't like me. I get that. Hell, half the time I don't like myself. You know? Sometimes I don't even like my kids. And then there's people I just don't like. And then there's people I love. 99% of my readers and listeners, these guys know I love them to death. They might not like what I have to say at the end of the day. But at least at the end of the day, they know how I feel about things. They know that the history of Fort Gates should be saved. They know that after they get through listening to Joey and what he has to say, that he's going to be true to his word. And if he doesn't, then you guys hold him accountable for it. I'm going to be doing more and more shows with him because I think he's a good man. And I've talked to him for hours and hours and hours over the last few months. And I think that he will be a good asset for Putnam County. And you're only one vote. I know that. You still got 4 other ones to go along with you. But I want to thank you for coming on the air tonight.
Thank you very much.
And
I appreciate
I look
it, man.
forward, and then we're
It's
gonna
been great.
we're gonna set up another day next week. He's actually staying here tonight. He wants to show us support for Fort Gates. Plus, it's a hard place to live.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to go. I'm already off Friday, so we'll see.
He wants to go fishing and stuff, and I don't blame him. So
Yeah.
he's got his kids here. I know they're chomping at the bit to get out and go fishing, and hopefully they're going to catch some. You guys go down and look at the fish that was caught just in the last couple of weeks here. I mean, we got a tilapia that was that big, and my brother that passed away, actually caught a world record tilapia down there. It was over 10 pounds, 3 ounces, something like that. But I'm going to let him go, and we're going to get it set up. I'll be announcing it. Oh, for you guys that have hung in there for the whole show, who wants to win this watch? Think we should give this away?
Yeah, we'll give it away. I'm cool with that, man.
It's an orange band. I mean, I'm not much.
Well, I mean, if they drop it, maybe it'll. Is it a floating one?
I don't know.
It might float.
I
If
think
it floats,
it's waterproof. I know it's got ear pods or whatever they call them things, and a charging head and a charging line, and it's orange, and I think it's got blue in it. So it's got to be something. You Gator fans out there, roll tide. But you Gator fans out there, tell you what, go on there and put in, I support Fort Gates Ferry. And I tell you what, the next thing that we have next week, get your friends to go on there and put it out. It needs to be on, what side are we going to do it on?
It'll be on the Putnam Way, Fort Gates Ferry, and it'll also be on the Tic Tac site for Fort Gates Ferry.
Okay. Go on there, and we're going to put up, we'll put up a special thing tomorrow for this watch. And I think it's a couple $100 watch for the ear pods. I know it's Apple compatible, and what's the other ones? Android, and I don't know the phones. But it hasn't been open yet. I did tear the thing off of it on the front. It was going to go in my shop, but my little store isn't up and running yet, so hell with it, I'll give it away. But what we'll do is we'll put up a thing tomorrow, and it'll say, I support Fort Gates Ferry. It'll tell you exactly what to do. Write that under the comment, and then also put under there, thank you, Joey, for being on the show and running for office. We'll put that on there. And again, this is not, you haven't paid me one red cent for this. I invited you to come on.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Harvey, if you want to come on, get a hold of myself or Marie, or call Fort Gates, or call the Putnam Way, or my phone number is 386-315-1087. I will answer your call. Call me. I'll put you on the air. I'm going to be honest, and I will ask you hardball questions.
Internet just quit. No.
Okay, sorry about that. So we had some technical difficulties. Facebook. It's Joseph Agner from Putnam County District, Putnam Commissioner District 4 on Facebook.
Spell it out for him.
Okay. Joseph Agner. Last name is Agner. Agner. Alpha Golf November Echo Romeo for you phonetics out there. For Putnam Commissioner District 4 on Facebook. All right. We got our website. You can go on there, like, follow us. I try to put out posts as much as I can. You'll see on my posts, and when I can and where I can, I try to source everything I can. And if I can't source it and I can't prove it, then we're not going to talk about it. So that's how my team and I run this. Follow us on Facebook. If you want to donate, it's on there too. I hate asking people for money, so if you want to donate, by all means, come and donate. We'd love to have you. If you want to volunteer, we're going to do some door knocking this weekend. Like us on Facebook, message us on Facebook, or you can email us at, hold on a second. Where did it go? I know how to find it. Give me 1 second. A little technical difficulty.
On Facebook.
I got it. It is, the email is J Agner, letter J, A-G-N-E-R, the number 4, Putnam, Putnam, CODIST, and then the number 4, at gmail.com. That's where you can reach out to us. If you message us, and you can ask anybody that's messaged us, we message back. I'll call you back, leave your phone number. I had a lady today that I missed her call, and I apologize to her greatly, but I will call you back. Sometimes some things come up, and I can't always answer, but I will try to call back. But yeah, thank you so much for this, man. I really appreciate it. It's been great, and I appreciate everything.
Well, thank you again for your service, not only in the military, but as a firefighter and stuff. And you guys and gals, firefighters go through a lot this time of year. It's hot outside. Don't feel like you can't go drop them a case of water off. Or snacks. It's something that's not going to melt. Every year we do a drive, Don't go get them Snickers bars, because they're going to run into a fire or get into a brush fire. They're going to have nothing but chocolate and nougat all in their pocket.
Take care of your firefighters. These guys in Putnam County, I'm gonna tell you, they are some of the best I've met. The guys and girls that work the street out here, and their union, I'll go ahead and say it. Their local IFF union, they endorse me. I give a shout out to them. Thank you very much, guys, and I support y'all 100%. I've talked to a lot of y'all. I love your new station. Somebody asked me what I thought about the fire station. I thought the fire station was great, but then I wanted to go crawl all over that engine y'all have. So,
what's some of the snacks they can get? I know
Gatorade, Powerade, you know, stuff that's going to be, you know, like he said, you know, we do like a good Snickers bar every now and then, as you can tell. But you know, in reality, Slim Jims are great. Stuff that you can keep wrapped, crackers, Slim Jims, things like that. Pickle juice packets. You know, a lot of guys like to have pickle juice out there because it keeps them cramped. Gatorade powder packs. We keep little bottles of water on the trucks when we can. So take care of your firefighters. All right, go by their station, give them a case of water, give them a Gatorade. You know, and thank them for what they do, because when you're sleeping at night, they're getting up and down all night long, and it's not just the taxing of going on the calls, but people need to realize what that does to the body for 24 hours.
And one thing pisses me off more than anything, when you're riding down a road and a fire truck or an ambulance is behind you, get out of their way. I had a guy yesterday pass me right there at 207. The fire truck was coming off of 207 onto 17.
Yes, sir.
He passes me on the right side and almost slams into the fire truck. What an idiot. You guys, if I see you out there in the sheriff's department, plug your ears, please. You start to run a fire truck off the road, I'm going to take my Jeep and ditch your ass. You're right off in the drink. Don't do that to them. Don't do it to the ambulances. Every second counts. I mean, every second counts. Stay out of their way. You see a beautiful fire truck and you think these guys are all this and they're making millions? No. Hell, half of them are behind on their mortgages. I've been saying this for years. Putnam County should make firefighters and our first responders tax-free on their houses. Cut them a gas tax. Get a special station. You have one sitting there at Palaca for the police department. Set up a special station. Give them a break. But drop off some snacks. Go and support our firefighters, our men and women in blue, our men and women in red, our first responders, especially our ambulance drivers. You know, you ladies know who I'm talking about.
Don't call it ambulance drivers.
There's two of them.
No, don't call us ambulance drivers.
Okay.
It's rescue. It's an engineer or a driver.
Okay.
That one will.
Yeah.
We'll say. Just say.
I love these ladies to death.
I just shameless plug that we have.
They know who I'm talking about. The two blonde bombs.
I have no knowledge of any of that.
I know who they are. They know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say their names because they asked me not to. I love them women to death. They are right out that thing, and when somebody is hurt, and you know, the one thing you guys might not realize is that a lot of the firefighters, most of what they're going to die from is not fires or anything. It's going to be heart attacks. I've watched grown firefighters sit there and bawl their eyes out for hours at a scene where a little kid was hurt or killed. They're men and women. They're trying to do their job. They're trying to save you. They're trying to save your neighbor. One thing is for sure. At one point in your life, a fire truck is going to show up. An ambulance is going to show up. A cop is going to show up. So before you start bashing our first responders, remember, if it was me, and this is why I can't be a firefighter, or that, because I've got people, I wouldn't show up at their house. I'd have it burned. If I did show up, I'd show up with a package of hot dogs, some hamburgers, and some chicken and barbecue sauce. Hey, how you feeling in there, you know? But if I told you I have no filters, you picked the wrong show to come on.
No, I love it, man. I'm not freedom of speech, man.
But
I'm all about it.
Just respect the firefighters and our first responders, our men and women in blue and red, whatever colors they're wearing, and give them the time of day and go and help them out. You know, hell, go over and take some gift cards to them so they can go over to, Longhorn Steakhouse. And to all you listeners and stuff and people that are watching, we love you to death. If you've got things that you feel that Joey can make Putnam County better, send him over suggestions. If you know things that need to be changed and you're tired of the way the good old boys system has been ran for years, do something about it. If you don't get out and vote, don't bitch about it later. And when you lose your rights, when your taxes are too high, and you don't think that Putnam County's going the way it is, if you don't get out and vote in the primaries, especially the primaries, don't wait until you get to the main election. Get out and vote in the primaries. Get the people you want into that spot. So thank you again, and we'll see
Appreciate
you
you,
probably next week sometime.
Yeah, we'll get together. I
got
can't
a
wait.
spot
This is
picked
great.
out already, and we'll go from it again. And any of you other county commissioners, even though you're not running for office, you want to come on the air, let's go. All right, we love you. Take it easy, and we'll see you on the other side, hopefully.
Thank you.